Today's video, we're diving into the infamous MRE. What's up? I'm U.S. Army veteran Christopher Chaos, and got some MREs, and we're gonna dive into them. You've probably seen several videos online of people tasting MREs. I'm gonna be honest with you, they don't taste very good unless you're really hungry. That's not what I'm gonna do in this video. I'm not gonna be tasting MREs. I'm a fairly picky eater. I don't like meatloaf, and do you really wanna trust my opinion on if these things taste good or not? So that is not what I'm gonna do in this video, and instead, I'm just gonna show you what's inside this thing. A little bit more of an in-depth kind of show of what's inside of an Army MRE. Now I have several different types here. Some of these have different kind of packaging, have different kind of looks to the front of them, but these are official Army MREs. These are not MREs that you buy from a surplus store or from a sporting goods store or anything like that. These are actual MREs the Army issues to soldiers. And since I work on the Army base and I also have some friends that are still in the Army or in the reserves, it's fairly easy for me to get my hands on some. So we're not gonna open up all these, we're just gonna open up one of them. So this guy right here is the one we will focus on for today's video, and that is the spaghetti beef and sauce. So you may be curious as to how in the heck do you open these things? Well, they have a little bit of a tab you can kind of open from the top up here. Kind of peel it open up here. You probably see in my other camera views here. And so you can kind of pull to be able to open it this way. You can get it open that way. Sometimes it's also good just to have a knife on hand. Kind of helps out. Now that we got this bag open up, let's dive into the contents. So typically you have a main meal, a side meal, a dessert, and a few other little pieces to it. So I'm just gonna dump out the contents. Bag is empty now. And let's start with what I got here on the top. And that is a multi-grain snack bread. Now what the heck is a multi-grain snack bread? Let's bust it open, and it's essentially like this stale piece of bread kind of a thing. They're not very good, at least in my opinion. As you can see, they're pretty tough. Next in this MRE, I have some raisins. And if you simply open up the bag, well, you have raisins. Next I have this little condiment bag. I'll come back to that here in a second. I have dessert, wild berry Skittles. Awesome. This is what would be a really good MRE for a soldier to come across, because these are awesome to have when you're in the field. And they are just your regular old Skittles. Yep. Tastes like Skittles that have been on the shelf for a year or two. Next up, we got peanut butter. The peanut butter would be used for that bread that we got here, so you'd be able to place the peanut butter on top of the bread and have like a little peanut butter, and imagine, yep, we have some strawberry jam. So, peanut butter and jelly mixed with this old stale bread would be a little bit of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And inside of it, essentially just looks like peanut butter. Inside of here just looks like your regular old jelly. Next up, you have your spoon. You gotta have this to be able to eat the main meal and some of the side dishes probably. That's all it is, just a plastic spoon inside of a wrapper. Right here we have our little beverage container, because you don't always have a cup with you in the field. So you utilize this to mix your powdered beverage drink into. And in this one I have lemon lime. So the directions for this is add half a canteen cup, 12 ounces of water to the contents, and stir. So this powder just goes inside of this bag, add some water. It even has some measurements on here to tell you 12 ounces, 8 ounces, and 6 ounces and all that stuff. Shake it real good and bam, you have a nice lemon lime drink. The nice thing about this bag is you can also use it for hot drinks. So if you have like some coffee or some hot chocolate or something, you can mix the powder in there with hot water and then use this inside of what this next item is, which is a heater. Now this heater you utilize for heating up your food. So the food contents goes inside this bag. There's a top layer up here. This top layer gets torn off. Now you have an opening to the bag. Yeah, there's like heating element that has a chemical reaction when adding water. and you gotta make sure not to overfill it past the fill line. So you have your main meal, which for this case is the spaghetti with beef sauce. This packet would go inside of this bag. You would add water, but not too much to where it goes over this line. You fold it over and then place it inside of this little heating sleeve that they have here. Now, I'm not gonna actually go through the process of heating this up because it smells horrible and I don't wanna smell at the house. Once the chemical reaction starts happening, this thing will start expanding and it'll start heating up your food, and usually just kind of give it about 10 minutes or so to let it heat up your food pretty good. Once it's done, you would then be able to pull it out of this little packet by tearing off this next piece right here. And then you pull the packet out. And you could probably reuse the sleeve if you wanted to. Some people will go and maybe just open it sideways because that's how this packet actually opens, is sideways. Let me show you the contents of the unheated spaghetti. So it also has these little tear edges here to be able to tear it open. And inside we basically have some kind of generic, basic spaghetti. Now usually it'll be something where while you're heating that up, you're eating the side dish. So I guess in this case, you're snacking on the raisins, you're snacking on that little peanut butter and jelly kind of sandwich you created. And then once it's been heated for a while, then you go ahead and dive into that and you have that little plastic spoon to utilize. Now, inside of this little baggie, there's some other items inside this bag we'll get into. So we'll tear this guy open and dive into the contents of this little bag. Inside here we have 2 little pieces of gum. Next we have some freeze-dried coffee. So you could utilize that bag still if you wanted to, maybe rinse it out, whatever, and add some freeze-dried coffee into there and add the water. We also have a little book of matches. And it even says on here that these matches are designed specifically for damp climates, but they won't light if they're wet. Also inside of the bag we have a little packet of sugar. We have a packet of creamer, non-dairy. We have a moist towelette to clean up your hands after you've eaten that messy spaghetti. We have some iodized salt and a little packet of tissue paper that you can either use for going number 2 or simply just for cleaning up your mess after you've been done eating. Use it as a napkin. So there you go, that's a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown kind of what's inside of the MRE. Not a taste test because everybody has their own taste buds. This stuff's good if you're really hungry and out in the field and haven't eaten some good food in a while. But for the most part, I don't find it very pleasing to just eat when you don't have to. Now that was specifically what's inside of the spaghetti with meat sauce MRE. Other MREs will have different side dishes. Sometimes it'll have cheese spread. Sometimes it'll have different desserts, maybe M&Ms, maybe these charms that are kind of like just these hard candies, and different various items that will be included in different MREs. But some of the common things that'll be in pretty much every MRE is going to be like that little packet that contained all the little stuff like the moist towelette and the matches. That spoon will be inside of there. The heating element will be inside of one. And then your drink, some sort of side dish, and some sort of main dish. So there you go, that's an Army MRE. If you're not currently in the Army, maybe you're thinking about joining the Army, what kind of MRE do you think you would like to have? I know at one point they did have a cheeseburger or a hamburger MRE, but I don't think it lasted very long and I don't think it was very good either. If you're an Army veteran or currently in the Army, leave some comments down below of what your favorite MREs are. Mine was the spaghetti. It used to come with some different items. It used to come with Skittles, and used to come with like these crackers and peanut butter that were pretty good, but we've kind of changed up the menu of what's inside of them since then. So if you liked the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to check out some other videos, I got some suggested ones off on the side of the screen here. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you should probably subscribe. Christopher Chaos, I'm gonna eat some old Skittles. I'll see you next time. See ya.